morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkisoon and welcome to the CNC3 Early Morning Show. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, the 18th of July. How are you today? Thank you again for inviting us into your homes. This morning, we will start our interviews with the Minister of Housing, Dr. Rudal Moonilal. The government recently launched an initiative, Land for the Landless. What exactly is this initiative and how is it going to benefit our country? How is it going to work with the current ministry, current systems in place at the ministry? Also, the EMBD board members resign, anger over award of certain contracts. We'll get the minister's thoughts on that. We'll also be joined this morning by some of the members of the board to find out exactly what has transpired. And we have a lot of light segments this morning. Angostura is celebrating 50 years. We're also going to be linking up with Roger Santos out there in London. Protocol, why is it important to you? And so much more this morning. But before we begin our first interview, don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter. I always keep forgetting the Twitter, at Hema_Ramkisoon. I look forward to tweeting with you. Before we begin our first interview with Dr. Rudal Moonilal, let's tell you why you should buy the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian today. Well, a $10 million loss there. Hawaii predicts deficit budget for 5 years. Al Rawi Jack can't reopen police stations. Hawaii sees deficit budget for 5 years. Cops probe death of man found in drain. World class. That's a story there. Windy's skipper says Sunil Narayan is world class. So congratulations there goes to Sunil Narayan. And the plain talk goes to Otis Gibson. Before we go to our first break, let's give you something to think about while you have your morning cup of coffee. Adversity is just change that we haven't adapted ourselves to yet. Adversity is just change that we haven't adapted ourselves to yet. No matter what exactly your circumstances are this morning, know that you have the power to change it. And even if you're in a state of discomfort, everything always works out in the end. I'm Hema Ramkisoon, and I'll see you on the other side of this break.
Extraordinary what you can see when you take a second look. Extraordinary is all around us. In the feelings we share, in the connections we make. Captured moment. Share the extraordinary with Digicel.
It's a mission. This is our vision. Making it happen. We're making a difference. Trinidad and Tobago, open your eyes, realize there's so much waiting for you.
Republic Bank Limited, in collaboration with TNT Blind Welfare Association, present Vision Caravan from May to September 2012 throughout rural Trinidad and Tobago. Come have your eyes tested and experience a new vision. See press for details.
Open your eyes, become aware, make use of what's here for you. Be part of the vision now.
In celebration of Republic Bank's 175th anniversary, Vision Caravan.
Ah, strings. No. Too much. Yeah. Tea sharpens the mind. Lipton Yellow Label, a sip of inspiration.
Police can do. Come and hear what police can do. Come and learn what police can do. We want to partner with you. Come and see what police can do. Come and hear what police can do.
Come on down to the Police Caravan this Friday, July 20th, Harris Promenade, San Fernando, from 12 noon to 5 p.m. It's exciting and informative. Bring the entire family. See you there.
Police can do. We want to partner with you.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. Land for the Landless. Well, joining us on set this morning, the Minister of Housing, Dr. Rudal Munilal, and Hazar Hussain, the Financial Controller of the LSA. They're here to talk about the latest government initiative, Land for the Landless. It will seek to ease the burden of housing from under the Housing Development Corporation. That was revealed by the government and government officials at their last post-cabinet news briefing last week, Thursday. Also, some interesting developments happening in the country. 5 members of the 12-member board of the Estate Management Business Development Company, they have resigned. That's according to a report by Kamal Georges. So before we go into the details of the Land for the Landless initiative, let's take a look at Kamal's story from last night, and then we'll get the minister to respond.
By week's end, the Estate Management Business Development Company will be in search of a new board. Behind closed doors on Tuesday, at least 4 directors at the company indicated they are ready to part ways with the company, which is in charge of prime agricultural land, including thousands of acres from Carney Limited. The action follows reports that the company was illegally renting state agricultural land to businesses, something which came as a surprise to some directors. Those who were not in the know now want a forensic financial investigation into the operations of the EMBD.
Board members need to see the whole picture to make correct decisions. We need to know what's going on, you know, especially financially. I would hate to think that there were any improprieties, anything that we do, you know, that didn't make it to board member. I do not want to be involved in any kind of bubble whatsoever. I would be extremely disappointed if a forensic audit was done, which I think should happen.
Deputy Chairman Stephen Broadbridge told Guardian Media Limited on Tuesday that Chairman Joe Ramkisoon refused to attend the emergency meeting, which was called to discuss the allegations which have come to light. He is further alleging that all members of the board were called individually and aggressively instructed not to attend Tuesday's meeting. 5 members attended while 2 joined by conference call. But Mr. Broadbridge tells us board members have been intimidated. He refused to give further details, but CNC3 News was reliably informed that at least 1 board member was told that they would lose their job in the public sector.
We cannot have things work correctly if people are being intimidated. People need to be able to do their jobs without any fear.
EMBD.
That was a clip there from our newscast last night from our very own Kamal Georges. Dr. Munilal, good morning. Thank you again for joining us.
Good morning.
The EMBDC, the situation, you've just seen a report by Kamal Georges. Is there any truth to that story? What is the status as of this morning?
Well, just to indicate that, of course, I looked on the news and saw the item last evening. The Estate Management Business Development Company has only quite recently, very recently, been assigned to the Ministry of Housing, Land and Marine Affairs. At this time, I don't have in my possession any letters of resignation. I was informed that persons have offered their resignations or verbally resigned, but I have not seen or I've not heard of any written resignations. I intend to meet the board, the entire board, tomorrow afternoon, Thursday afternoon at the ministry, and then discuss with them some of these issues and challenges that we have heard about. So that I prefer not to comment further to prejudice any further discussion I'll have with the board. But at this time, I have certainly not received any resignation.
There were some interesting words that he used:
yes.
Bubble, forensic audit, wrongdoing, intimidation. Does this add credence to the fact that some have criticized many of the state boards, saying that they are simply out of control?
Well, again, as it would be improper for me to comment on it before hearing from those persons who have raised issues. These are serious issues, of course, and you know, it would really be improper and maybe even unethical for me to comment, not having the benefit of discussing with the board and with members concerned these type of issues. But I imagine we'll discuss that tomorrow.
Would you look at the possibility of a forensic audit?
Well, I'm not sure if they have started one or if one is ongoing or anything. I've not been briefed thoroughly on this issue. And on the area, in fact, the company I'll meet for the very first time, I think, tomorrow afternoon. So I'll take it from there and we'll see how it goes.
See how it goes. Also, the government has launched the Land for the Landless initiative. That was announced by your government last week, Thursday. Let's talk a little bit about this initiative. How did it come about?
Well, what has happened is that over the years, the previous government, I believe it was the UNC government in 95 to 2001, had developed policies of land distribution. We have always felt that a lot of persons in the national community, particularly persons in the lower income bracket, may be prepared to accept a small plot of land upon which to construct their own modest, housing unit and so on. And the state should facilitate that type of process because there's so many benefits associated with that. The benefit of economic activity, employment creation, escalation in work in the construction sector, and also there's the intrinsic human benefit of having citizens contribute themselves, build themselves, develop, work along with family members in some cases, and pool capital and human resources and build themselves. There's a benefit to that. That program regrettably has been suspended, I believe, since 2003 or thereabout. And even at the HDC, incidentally, we do have on record thousands and thousands of persons who have applied for land and who in some cases I actually have letters who had received letters way back in 2005 that they have been approved for an allocation of land, but no lands have never been advocated. The former government took the approach that they will not distribute lands, but they will go into a house construction cycle. Now there are several problems with home construction on a massive, extensive scale, and particularly managing contracts. Between 2007 and 2010, we have had an enormous escalation in contract costs in poor and shoddy work, for example. So managing that is always a very difficult challenge. So that the current government has looked at the situation. We have done an extensive review with the Land Settlement Agency, and Hazar is here with us this morning, can tell us much more on this. An extensive review, and have opted for a Land for the Landless policy to bring relief for low-income citizens who can purchase at a moderate cost a plot of land and construct their own dwelling. And this would be done, of course, in a policy framework. This is not, as some people may think, that you are just going in a squatting community and giving a piece of land. It's not that at all. It's done in a legal and institutional framework.
Land use policy, and also is this a shift from the policy of your ministry into distributing more land and less construction?
Yes, because land distribution is also an important asset. For far too long, we have had not only idle land, not only for agriculture, but also for commercial and industrial development. And given the economic climate, which we all know about, we have heard from the Minister, the Honorable Larry Hawaii and others, we need to monetize assets. This country has enormous assets, and some of these assets are not in the market. We need to monetize it and get it into productive use. And using land for productive use, commercial, industrial, residential, is one way to deal with our economic challenges.
Mr. Hussain, the first question the taxpayer will ask, one, about the use of the land, effective use of the land, where are we getting the land, and the cost of this initiative?
Well, we're working with a team including the Commission of State Lands, to identify lands suitable for housing. That's the first step. We'll want to ensure that the program is sustainable in the long run. And in that, we mean that, as the minister mentioned, there will be a payment factor into it. In the initial stage, we're looking at producing 10,000 lots in the first 3 years. The cost we're looking at is $50,000 per lot, and we intend to recover that cost.
How are you going to recover that cost?
Well, we will build in a payment schedule within the program.
Dr. Milan, this is a laudable initiative, but then even when you came into office, you pointed to the fact that the housing programs under successive governments, they may be as great as they are, as laudable as they are, but long lines, demand is always greater than supply.
Yeah,
How are you going to ensure that next 10 years, we don't hear stories of people that applied 20 years ago for something?
Well, I mean, the demand is so huge. We have on our database at the HDC, I believe, over 129,000 citizens in need of housing. But a significant part of that is in need of shelter. And we must separate conceptually, initially, the issue of housing and the issue of shelter. Not everyone wants a unit, a housing unit. And I think the Land for the Landless program will assist particularly lower income citizens, because I'll tell you why. Sometimes even for a citizen on a salary of $3,000 a month, let's say, working in a supermarket, a gas station, somewhere, they still find it challenging to afford an HDC unit because of the cost associated with construction. Over the years, as you know, we have had an escalation in construction costs and materials and so on. So a cheap HDC house is still a challenge for many citizens, and this is a challenge that we have to confront. We believe that if we provide a lot of land for persons, they can begin constructing their own homes. And for the very poor, we are indeed looking at providing a plot of land with a foundation. It's called, a foundation for the future, where we provide a foundation and invite the recipient to construct on that. And apart from that, that recipient will also have available to him or her access to housing grants, for example.
How?
$50,000, $20,000 as the case may be, so that you can get a modest home for a low-income worker with $50,000 more or less for a plot of land, but also $20,000 in terms of a grant, so that you can provide a poor working person, a working poor, with an opportunity.
How are these persons going to be chosen, Dr. Munilal, and how would you assure the public that there, one, will be no corruption, and that, two, if a board or any entity is put in charge of this, we won't see stories like that coming out of the EMBDC?
Well, we don't know what is coming out of the EMBDC, as you say. I'm in the dark like you, so that tomorrow we'll meet and discuss that. But in terms of the residential lots, they would be allocated 40% via a random selection process, 40% on the recommendation of the minister with responsibility for housing to deal with special cases, emergency, relocation policies and so on, and 20%, and this is a sort of innovation we have now, 20% for public servants, protective services, teachers, and other employees of the state. A huge clientele we deal with at the HDC, of course, is public servants, protective service workers, teachers, and so on. And this program may benefit them as well, because if they are provided with a plot of land, they would have, a steady, regular flow of income. They can, they can build themselves. They can go to private financial institutions and take a loan and construct. So that we are looking at a huge 20% for public officers.
When is this program going to start?
We expect to do the initial work, I think, beginning in August, and Hazar will have a clear idea of the time frame.
Yeah, we started work in August. In fact, we have some lots available for distribution because the Land Settlement Agency has been working and has been developing sites. In fact, we have 8 sites that we're currently doing planning works on. Construction is supposed to begin in around September of this year. And by mid-next year, we should have at least 1,000 lots available out of that program. And this is really in sites where we have existing squatters, and we're going to be expanding those sites, expanding the borders of those sites. Apart from that, we're developing greenfield sites, and we're working with the Commission of State Lands to identify these parcels.
So right now, the parcels that you're looking at to start the first rounds of distribution, where is that located?
We have several locations, Melton Village, Coover, Castleford, Chaguanas.
Dr. Mulal, many times government initiatives have been criticized, especially as it relates to housing, that you put houses down or that you distribute land and there's not a supporting infrastructure, roads, schools, that we're looking to build communities as opposed to simply creating an environment which will eventually result in what we consider to be the ghetto.
Well, facilities follow housing. Housing doesn't follow facilities. For example, you can't go in the middle of the bush and put a school and a hospital. You have to put housing, put communities, and then the infrastructure will come around it. The preschool will come, the primary school will come, a medical center will come, or what we call a health center. Those follow infrastructure. And incidentally, it's a good point you're making. The previous administration had increased housing stock in Golconda, Retrench outside of San Fernando. And as you said, there were no provision for school, for recreation ground, for that sort of thing. And today we are in consultation with the Ministry of Education to look at a site for constructing a primary school to cater for that retrenched Golconda community of the HDC that has just, started to develop in the last 2 or 3 years. So there's something that, those of us who are involved in the planning part of it would have to look at. But to indicate as well the criteria, if you would ask for the beneficiaries, I told you how it will be delivered, but in terms of the criteria, an applicant must be, of course, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, must be 18 years and over, and must not be owner or part owner of property, land in Trinidad and Tobago at the time when they are allocated. That those are the strict criteria that we will follow.
Will we now see a decrease in the level, the amount of houses being produced under the HDC?
No, we would continue with the home construction program, but this really helps in terms of dealing with our our huge backlog of applicants for shelter. So you won't see that. But the other point I'd make is that when we offer this program, we must now not confuse ourselves that we are taking squatting communities and, just transforming. What happened is that, remember, according to the law, the 1998 legislation, 1998, yes, there are persons who are in squatter communities that can be regularized. So when you regularize them, you give them the certificate of comfort followed by title and so on, and they can create sustainable communities. And we have support from the IDB to develop communities, proper communities. What we intend to do is to expand some of these communities so that extra lots of land would become available. As we move along, the next major challenge we are looking at the ministry is synchronizing the land applicants database from several agencies, including the LSA, the HDC, the Commission of State Lands, and so on. We are putting all together to get a complete database of persons who are desirous of obtaining lands. We may even intend to go to the parliamentary offices, all parliamentary offices, MPs, and establish a new wave of applications given our criteria and given our requirements.
Now, before we wrap this interview, Dr. Mulal, the crime situation continues to dominate the headlines in this country. You are a senior member of the Trinidad and Tobago government. You are also the leader of government business. When you see headlines, I didn't kill any, National Security Minister responds to the headline, 35 murders under Jack. Many are saying that your government's crime plan is still not being rolled out and you're not winning the war.
As a disciplined member of government, I don't speak on matters outside of my portfolio. They are good questions. I imagine at some time you'll have the relevant law enforcement ministers who can respond to these matters. But I can talk about crime in housing areas. The Hoop of Life program you remind me of, that program, as you know, will kick off in a few weeks' time, and we are now working on the basketball courts in several areas in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly in the HDC settlements, to ensure that that program starts, that will also engage our young people in recreation and productive activity, and we will contribute. But the housing sector, of course, contributes to fighting crime in that way, because regrettably some of these housing estates are also a safe haven for some of the criminal elements. So we play our role.
Before we wrap this interview, do you think that the situation at the EMBDC, I know that you are meeting and that we can't delve too much into it, but many have stated that the oversight or the mechanisms to oversee the conduct of the boards should be strengthened. Do you think that that is something that you would be reviewing at this time?
Well, it is something we can look at, certainly, monitoring, evaluation, performance appraisal. As you know, the Prime Minister has made a commitment that we would be looking at a performance appraisal of the various boards. Several of these boards, their term of office will end by September, so that there will be a review and assessment, and depending on that, there may be some changes. So that the time is coming, you know, in a few short weeks, that several state boards throughout the country would be up for review. But we prefer to look at it also in terms of performance and delivery, because this is a key period for us in terms of delivery. And we will look at all the boards, not only the EMBDC.
Before we wrap this interview, Mr. Hussain, your closing comments to Trinidad and Tobago. You are the financial controller for the LSA. This initiative is one of the latest initiatives under the People's Partnership Government in an attempt to ensure, one, that we all own the property in this country and we all have a chance for a better life.
Exactly, and that's the aim. And we want to make sure that the program is sustainable. It's not only about providing lots for beneficiaries, but ensuring that you have persons building on those lots. So the program involves supervision as well of construction as we go along, and making sure that people build according to codes and standards.
Codes and standards. Dr. Munilal, before I ask for your closing comments, construction, tendering processes, ensuring that everything is above board. Allegations of corruption continue to persist, and no claims have been yet taken to court. But you know, I think your government has been plagued also, as the previous administration, by a number of allegations. What are you going to say today to
Well, these allegations are intensified with you saying a number of allegations. So these are in our ministry, housing and formerly housing and environment. I'm extremely pleased to note that we have never had, you know, a very serious allegations or anything pointed at us at any of our boards, and there are significant state enterprises located in housing and the environment. So that we have a certain management structure, culture. We operate in a certain way where we put a premium on transparency. I announced earlier this year, you'll recall, that Cabinet established oversight committees to oversee the work of UDCOT, for example. UDCOT today, nobody in UDCOT can travel without ministerial approval. UDCOT cannot buy a house in Tobago without knowledge of minister or cabinet or government. So that we have really introduced transparency. We have introduced different lines of accountability to manage UDCOT, manage HDC, and those are big organizations, CPEP as well. I mean, there was a time in this country, every time you pick up the papers, you hear CPEP workers in courthouse, magistrate court. CPEP workers charge, and the bailer is a CPEP contractor. We have heard that over the years. Today, I mean, you'd hardly find that. And in fact, the stories now emerging from CPEP are very positive in terms of their work, the organizational structure. So that I am particularly pleased that we have maintained a certain discipline and focus on transparency and accountability. And we have not had, you know, some of the problems that the former government experienced. And, you know, we will take that approach in, you know, in the new areas of the ministry now.
Your closing comments, Trinidad.
Well, our comment this morning, our main focus, of course, is land for the landless, to indicate to citizens of this country, particularly those of you who have applied for many, many years and have been waiting in the wilderness almost for land, for a plot of land, a lot of land, and so on, to construct your modest dwelling. You prefer that. This is the time for you to, you know, look on at this program and get your applications in. We will be establishing a proper procedure for that, but we have on the database thousands of applications for land, and we intend to now pull that and meet and treat with citizens, so that there is hope and there is great optimism that we can assist the HDC construction program by providing land.
Dr. Munilal, thank you so much. Mr. Hussain, thank you so much. I'm Hamer Ramkissoon. We'll now take a very short break. When we come back, we'll have another interview for you. Stay with us.
There is a place where all of our people will meet, where we will see them compete and follow their efforts, and feel the excitement of seeing our colors and the pride of seeing our countrymen win. Everyone will be there, all in one place. DirecTV, the only one with coverage of the Olympic Games focused on our athletes. Now get your DirecTV hooked up for only $99.
Listen up, people, to this spot about rainbow products and why they're hot. Corned beef's not the only thing they've got, so put a rainbow in your pot. Canned and dried goods just for you. Vienna sausages and tuna too. Oil, milk, rice, peas, and carrots, so put a rainbow in your pot.
Now that's a lot.
That's right, I said a lot. So put a rainbow in your pot. Yeah, put a rainbow in your pot. Put a rainbow in your pot.
The Rainbow range of first-class food products. Available nationwide.
To alleviate traffic congestion in West Port of Spain, the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure is implementing an experimental traffic scheme in Woodbrook, St. James and their environs. Please take note of the new arrangements and plan your trips accordingly. The following are the one-way configurations in the St. James area. Western Main Road, one-way west, except for the section between Roxy Roundabout and Long Circular Road, which will remain two-way. Additionally, Western Main Road between the Cook Creek Flyover and the traffic lights at George Cabal Street also remains two-way. Other changes include Church Street, one-way east, Quamina Street, one-way west, Romeo Street, one-way north, Hyderabad Street, one-way east, Nizam Street between Panka Street and Hyderabad Street, one-way north, Bay Road, one-way south, Broad Street, one-way south, Matura Street, one-way south, and Wick Street, one-way south. All restrictions, including parking, are indicated by traffic signs throughout the scheme. For further details, please check the press, the Ministry's website, and our Facebook page.
Need to fix your plumbing, shower, or bathroom? Yes, we have that too. Pipes, shower fittings, toilets, the widest range of Makita, Stanley, and all other hardware supplies at competitive prices. Visit our website or come in today at 185 Union Road, Marabella. Southern Wholesale Stores Limited. More than just a hardware.
Don't miss these super discounts at Motor Live's Rainy Day Sale, now on.
Look out for Metro's It's Best with Friends project. Play now on Facebook. Treat you and 4 friends to a night out this summer with dinner at Short Cafe, 1 Woodbrook Place, followed by a movie at the Digital IMAX Theater. Simply like the Metro Magazine Facebook page. Upload a photo of you and your friends for your chance to win. It's that simple. Don't delay. Play on Facebook today. Metro Magazine. Your life, your style.
Seaview Optical announces its grand summer sale in July. Get 35% off all top designer frames. Prada, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Calvin Klein, Olga and Coach. Get 25% off all 2012 sunglasses. Single vision lens with frame, $299. Bifocal lens with frame, $479. 3 locations: Diamond Village, San Fernando, High Street, Princestown, opposite Charlotte Street, and 51 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Where we going tomorrow? We going to Bago. It's yours, mine, and ours. We going to Bago. It's the 25th anniversary of the Tobago Heritage Festival, and everybody's invited. The celebration's bigger than ever this year, with more villages, more shows, plus cultural favorites like the goat and crab races, an old-time Tobago wedding, oh gosh, and the food. July 13th to August 1st. Mark it down, July 13th to August 1st. 25th Annual Tobago Heritage Festival. Yours, mine, and ours to preserve and protect. Whoa, yo, yo!
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramsoon. Thanks so much for staying with us. This morning, we were supposed to have one of the members of the Estate Development Estate Management Business Development Company. You know, that company has actually changed names quite a number of times. So the new incarnation is EMBDC. Yesterday, allegations emerged that 5 members tendered their resignations. We just spoke to the minister who is charged with responsibility of overseeing that board. He's saying that he's yet to receive any resignations on this matter. So we're still awaiting the arrival of the board member, Stephen Goodrich. Hopefully he will join us within the not too distant future. In the meantime, we thought we'd open our phone lines just for a little bit. 624-8721. 627-8658 to get your thoughts on all that is happening in the country. So much to discuss. The crime situation continues to dominate the headlines. A new Minister of National Security has been appointed to the post. Minister Jack Warner, he was dubbed Action Jack by the media. Many were expecting a solution overnight. 35 murders have been committed in this country since his appointment. What does this mean? The government's crime plan, is it failing? The minister is promising swift action. But is crime a runaway horse in this country? Can we really resolve it? Is it possible that you will find any of these solutions? So our phone lines are open, 624-8721, 627-8658. We look forward to hearing from you and your thoughts on all that is happening in the country. Quick rules before we take our first calls. Kindly mute your television sets, or please put the volume as low as you can. But I understand we have a call on the line. Hello, good morning. Oh, and joining us on the line, it's Danu Suku, the head of the Agriculture Society. Danu also sits on the EMBDC board. Good morning, Danu. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Hema.
Danu, what exactly is happening in the board? We understand that there have been 5 resignations. Is there any truth to that?
Yes, Hema, that did occur yesterday after a special meeting that was called by the directors to discuss issues that appeared in Sunday's newspaper, and also other issues that have been recently brought to our attention, which as directors of the board, we were never part of those decision-making processes. We have also discovered a lot of financial irregularities at the company, and no one was willing to provide the relevant answers as to who took those decisions and why those kind of expenditures was entered into. And in light of that, as a director on the board, according to the State Enterprise Performance Monitoring Manual, you carry collective responsibility. And those of us who resigned yesterday could not have continued to function under the present circumstances because we were not part of those decision-making process. So we have no intention to be held responsible for decisions that others make, actions others took, which could compromise the integrity not just of the board or the company itself, but also the integrity of the government which we serve.
Now you're saying we. Are you one of the 5 that tendered resignation?
Yes, I am one of the 5, Hema.
Now, who are the other members of the board that have resigned?
Dr. Ian Tan Kernaham, Mr. Robert Salandi, Director Robert Salandi, is Director at Land and Water at the Ministry of Food Production. Mr. Stephen Broadbridge, and also Mr. Devendra Dugal, who also indicated he signing his letter and dropping it off today.
Now, Danu, what are some of the allegations? We're hearing of financial impropriety and improper use of land in the country, that agricultural land was actually being sold for commercial use?
I did not hear you clearly, Hema.
What are some of the allegations that have to be investigated?
Well, what appeared in Sunday's newspaper was that EMBD have rented lands to companies at a very, very low rate, much lower than Cabinet agreed for the rental of state lands, even for agriculture.
Okay.
And that in itself has raised many concerns because, as you know, the government is on a drive to increase food production. And there it is, EMBD, whoever, I don't know, took this unilateral decision, maybe so, to rent lands to companies, prime commercial lands, at prices way under what Cabinet agreed, as I said, for rental of state lands for agriculture. And it didn't just happen with one company. Our understanding, according to the newspaper article, several companies this service have been extended to, and as directors on the board, we were not aware of that.
Now, Dana, we do have to take...
never even came to the board for discussion, for approval or so. Also, you know, we have also discovered where even variations on projects and so on to the tune of quite a sum of money never came to the board. Those things never got board approval. So with all of these things in mind, Hema, you know, we couldn't see ourselves continuing at the company because we want to serve the country. We want to serve the government of the day. We understand what the government's vision is, and we understand, according to our Prime Minister, how important it is for us to conduct our activities in a transparent and accountable way.
Okay, Dana, we do have to take a very short break. When we come back, we will continue this discussion. Joining us on set, Stephen Goodrich, one of the members of the board who also tendered his resignation, the deputy chairman of the board.
What was plastic surgery like over 2,000 years ago? Find out at the exhibition, India, A Culture of Science. Visit Facebook or nihils.gov.tt for more information.
We are touched by your smiles and your friendships, by your appreciation of the past, and your ability to see the future. We're motivated by your drive and your willingness to try new things. We are fascinated that even though you are so very different, you still see yourself as so very much the same. We are energized by how hard you work and your ability to have a good time, by your pride and your passion. We are moved by your every new beginning and wonderful end. Every day we're inspired by your likes and your lives, and we'll continue to challenge ourselves to remain a big part of them both. Bermudez, the biscuits we love.
After 2 years in waiting and many requests, the Caribbean Comedy Picnic Festival is back at the San Fernando Hill, overlooking the beautiful Southland on Sunday, 29th July from 3 p.m. with the biggest comedy stars. It all starts with a kid show at 3 p.m. with Snow White and the Dwarf. It's an event for the entire family with one of your favorite soca stars. And of course, non-stop laughter from the entire comedy crew. Hurry and get your tickets now at Lakshmi Jewelers and Bellini's Drug Mart San Fernando, JCC Electrical, Point Fortin, Solar Jewelers, Shogunas and Pinal, Cache, Gulf City and Trend City Mall, Mohammed's Bookstore, San Fernando, TBC Office Level 2, St. Vincent Street, Port of Spain, and Cleves, Frederick Street. And for this special family event, children under 12, 3 on 1 ticket, adults 2 on 1 ticket, and single tickets are available. You must be at the only comedy picnic festival, Sunday, 29th July, San Fernando Hill, from 3 p.m. Free shuttle service up and down the hill.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkisoon. Thanks so much for staying with us. EMBD board members resign, anger over award of certain contracts. Joining us on set, Stephen Broadridge. Stephen, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, we just spoke briefly to Dan Usuka, who also tendered her resignation. You also tendered yours as well.
I haven't tendered my resignation as yet, on advice from one minister. I'm pretty sure we will all be fired today anyway, but just a formality.
Now, all fired today. What exactly resulted in the situation? I understand that you had a meeting yesterday. Was there a meeting? Was it legal? Was it illegal?
I believe you have to have either, for a meeting to be legal, you have to have either a chairman or a deputy chairman present, and I was present. I got the impression that the chairman opposed the meeting. He was very upset about it. He made a point of telephoning each and every member to discourage them from showing up. Out of 12 board members, 4 managed to make it into the office, and then we had the others on telephone. Not all the others, but
Was
few.
it legally a quorum?
I believe it was a quorum. We were trying to figure that out yesterday, to tell you the truth. We were looking in the handbook, but it's unfortunate that intimidation tactics should be used. You know, I thought that a matter for concern should be spoken about. It should not be hushed, and especially with the directors. It's a problem that that board suffered regularly, was lack of information, and the board's constantly being steered away from discussions. I mean, I noticed in the boardroom very often the chairman would avoid topics and steer us in another direction very quickly. The board, I would say most of the people on the board were very interested in doing the job properly. You know, we were put there to serve, not be served.
Have you ventilated
all of us felt like that.
Ventilate you, obviously, this falls under Rudal Munilal's purview.
Yes.
As minister, have these issues been ventilated?
Not quite as yet, because I believe that we've only been just transferred into his ministry, so I don't think he's really had a chance. But I have confidence that the government would deal with these problems effectively. It's not even should the board be fired and a new board be installed, we're still left with the same problems. So we need to get the company cleaned up. The problems were not within the ministry. They were not on a minister level. They were on a board level. And the problem with EMBD is not because of bad guidance. The ministers gave us the correct guidance. They gave us the correct support. I cannot complain. I thought we had fantastic support from the ministry. We had problems within the EMBD. The EMBD itself is the problem.
The structure of the EMBD, now we're looking at the LSA, the EMBD, the Ministry of Housing, all working together to form yet another government, to launch yet another government initiative. If you are saying that this entity is in chaos and that the system is inherently corrupted, what are we going to hope for?
I think it's just a matter of setting up correct procedure for things. I mean, I heard the director on the phone that called in mention just the signing of checks. I think they need to put in. We have correct paperwork that must be submitted before checks can be signed. And however, I refused to sign checks on Thursday, and I think it caused a bit of a stir. But the checks I refused to sign had something called variables. And now I'm not an accountant, but you see these things called variables, and you look at them. They'll put in very insignificantly in the documents, and they're for millions of dollars. And and I know that the procedure basically is. If it's gone 10% or $100,000 over a quotation, the original quotation,
right, yes.
it doesn't have to go for board approval. These are well over $100,000, and they have not gone for board approval, and people are expecting me to stick my signature on it.
Who are the signatories to the accounts?
Myself, the chairman, and there will usually be 3 directors.
Right. So it's yourself, the chairman. Who's the third?
I believe, you know something? I'm not quite, it's Mungo. I think I'm not, I wouldn't want to say the wrong person.
Right, okay.
I wouldn't want to say the wrong person.
Now, these problems obviously did not prop up overnight. Some will wonder as to how long that this situation has been festering in the EMBD. How long do you think it has existed?
Well, I know that we met a mess there, and however things are now, a lot of things were working efficiently, and we had cleaned it up an awful lot. I mean, there were remarkable happenings there before we got there. Under the previous administration, it was completely rotten. I mean, we almost got it working.
Land use is a major problem in this country. The EMBD is an instrumental organ. It's instrumental in ensuring that the land use policy or the government's plan for development is effectively carried out. If we're having allegations of corruption and improper use, where you're saying that land is being given or sold to persons at below market rates, how is this?
The EMBD cannot sell land.
So what exactly
we can do short-term rentals. And I think what has happened with the short-term rentals is we were given clear directive from the government of prices that could be offered for certain lands. And we basically have a problem where somehow land was rented for well below the value of what the ministry had set for us.
The land is being rented at below market rate, well below market rate. Do you see a level of favoritism? Is it 1 or 2 persons?
I really don't want to comment on things I don't know about. I will answer when I am actually positive on something. I really don't know who knows who's related, and who's friends. I have no idea of the relationships. All I can say is that the facts are that the land is rented at a certain rate, and the different areas have the rates that apply, and those rates were ignored, and they were put well below the value
that they were supposed to be rented at. And I don't know what relation or how these people managed to get favoritism, but there obviously was some sort of favoritism.
Now, obviously, when the article was published over the weekend, a number of board members would have probably been taken by surprise, making a few calls. The need for the meeting was aired by a number of the board members.
It was made as an emergency meeting, and the Joe Rankisoon, our chairman, objected to the meeting and did
on what grounds?
Everything in his power. Up to this day, I'm not quite sure. I tried to actually speak to him after the meeting, and he was most annoyed with me and hung up on me. So he opposed the meeting, and I don't understand why talking about something is wrong. I was told I would be reported by Mr. Rankisoon. I'm not sure who I'll be reported to, but I'm quite proud to be reported that I stood up against something. I'm quite proud of that. I hope he reports me to lots of people.
The EMBD board, would you think that it's a runaway horse?
I don't say it's a runaway horse because I saw so many things working. There are a lot of very good staff there. We had most things in place. I think perhaps just the leadership of the board needed to be fixed. I think that many other things could have worked really well, and a lot was accomplished. I mean, if you consider fishing depots that we renovated, and the amount of access roads that were put in, incredible amount of access roads, and facilitating farmers, and a lot was done. And I wouldn't, when you're using saying runaway horse, I don't think would be fair. I would say that there were some indiscrepancies that should never have happened, and that our chairman should have been eager to fix, and he wasn't.
Discrepancies that cost the taxpayers millions of dollars. This public,
and also embarrassed people that have, directors have gone on these boards to serve. We have gone there, and there's very little reward. We would like to see that the time that we put in accomplishes something, and we're not humiliated. You know, is it too much to ask? You know, we'd like to go and do the job, go home and not be humiliated, and that's it.
How many board members have remained? The board has how many?
We don't know, because many of them I think have been hushed. We have 12 board members.
But obviously, are you saying at no meeting that all the members ever attend?
No, all the other meetings we have very good attendance. You know, everybody shows up. We're talking about the last meeting that we were unable to get. The majority of the board members were unable to attend for whatever reason.
Should the entire board be dissolved? Should there have been greater cabinet oversight? Should there have been greater ministerial control to avoid this matter?
I don't think we can blame everything on the ministry every chance we get. I mean, that happens a lot in Trinidad. Everything's the minister. People are supposed to be able to operate on their own. The minister cannot do everything. And, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, people can't toe the rope. You know, we can never be independent of the ministry and do the job we were set out, we were chosen to do. I really think the problem was internal. I don't think everybody is part of the problem. I see a lot of very talented young people working in the MBD that mean well. Everybody, you know, is trying to do their job. There are handfuls of people, and those people need to be removed, and they're not. I've always been worried about accountability. I've noticed you have people not doing their jobs properly or signing off on projects prematurely, and maybe a road is not up to standard, and yet an engineer will sign off on it, and then it will be brought up in a board meeting, and then months later, the engineer has not been reprimanded, or he's still working there, and you know, the nonsense. Accountability to me is, you know, key and very important.
Sources told one of the daily newspapers that members resigned as they had queries over contracts worth millions of dollars. Do you have a figure?
Millions of dollars. Well, we're doing many projects. It's a very, very active company. So I don't have a figure. but we spend millions of dollars on lots of things because we do lots of things.
Do you think that there should be a financial audit? Should the operations of the
I would
EMBD
welcome
be
that.
halted at this time?
I actually suggested that on yesterday when I was interviewed. I think an audit would be very useful.
What do you think is the next step for this company? This is now a company that has been embroiled in controversy. This is not the first time that we're seeing allegations being leveled against it.
I think that they need to figure out where they're going wrong, and I think we all know where they're going wrong. And it's like I say, it's not the entire company, but I think it really is important that more procedures are put in place, not to get over bureaucratic, but it needs to be cleaned up within. And until it's cleaned up, with certain individuals are reprimanded and even removed, it will continue to have problems.
Stephen, we just have a minute till we wrap this interview. The EMBD, what would you like Trinidad and Tobago to know about this organization?
Well, I'd like them to know that it is an organization that has accomplished an awful lot. It's a shame to have the reputation on the line like this, because it has accomplished a lot. We've had a lot of support from our line minister, Barath at the time, who did fantastic things for us. We accomplished a lot. We have made it possible for a lot more agriculture to be produced, and it's a shame that I think it can be fixed, but it needs to be fixed. It needs not to be left, and it needs to be a board needs to be given more freedom. It cannot be oppressed.
The board must be given more freedom, greater oversight. I'm Hema Ramsey. We go straight to the 7 a.m. newscast.
Good morning, I am Chester Sambrano and this is Headline News on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. Top of the news this hour. National Security Minister Jack Warner says new police units will be launched soon, even as he expressed his frustration with what he terms excuses from the police service in dealing with crime. Addressing the opening of a cadet camp yesterday, the minister gave another assurance that crime will be under control and it may come with the reintroduction of some old crime punishment measures, such as the Cat O' Nine Tails.
Gun amnesty? Wait, Dorothy, wait. Cat O' Nine Tail? Wait, Dorothy, wait. Whatever worked well in the past must be brought back.
And a Central Trinidad man is murder victim 230. Dead is 66-year-old Kenrick Raphael of John Ellie Road, Chase Village, Freeport. Reports are shortly after 9 on Monday night, the self-employed man was standing at the roadway at John Purcell Trace, Fireborn Village, when he was shot dead. Police have no motive for the killing. Resignations are already on the table in what appears to be another scandal on the board of the Estate Management Development Company. Some board members say they were shocked and disappointed to learn what was happening right under their noses and will not allow their reputations to be tainted. Deputy Chairman of the board, Stephen Broadridge, wants a forensic audit done.
Board members need to see the whole picture to make correct decisions. We need to know what's going on, especially financially. I would hate to think that there were any improprieties, anything that we do, that didn't make it to board member. I do not want to be involved in any kind of bubble whatsoever. I would be extremely disappointed if a forensic audit was done, which I think should happen.
A high-powered ministerial team visited Muruga on Tuesday after an employee of state-owned NP complained that it's becoming more and more difficult for gas tankers to make deliveries in the area because of deteriorating road conditions. MP for the area, Clifton Dikoto, described the situation as urgent.
The petroleum trucks are unable to pass because of the precarious nature of the landslip. So that with some degree of urgency, I contacted Minister George and Minister Stacey.
Stay with us. We'll have another news update at the top of the hour, and our major newscast is at 7 this evening, right here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network.
I believed in myself. I knew I was going to make my country proud. Was I scared?
No. It was my proudest moment. I felt I was on top of the world. What makes me proud about Trinidad and Tobago? The belief in ourselves and the ability to win, despite the odds. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT. It's extraordinary what you can see when you take a second look. Extraordinary is all around us. In the feelings we share, in the connections we make. In every captured moment. Share the extraordinary with Digicel.
Put speed and efficiency to work by using Skyjack platform lifts on your next project. Skyjack makes your work safer and easier with working heights up to 30 feet. Skyjack puts you within reach. Call Santiquip at 679-6000 for more details.
Meet Jane. Jane is burning fat as we speak. Just adding Dairy skimmed milk to her daily routine gives her the calcium she needs to burn calories more efficiently all day long. Plus, with a low-calorie diet and exercise, it helps her burn more tummy fat. So Jane not only looks better on the outside, but she feels pretty good too. Get the better benefits of milk with Dairy skimmed milk. Dairy, the milky milk.
If you're looking for a fence or deck that can stand up to the weather, then look no more. Touch of Class Fencing has the solutions for every property throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We offer vinyl arbors, vinyl pergolas, vinyl decks, even aluminum fences and chain link fences for commercial and industrial. Visit us at Lightpole 315 Southern Main Road, Cunupia, or call us for a free estimate today, 223-9199 or 314-5348. Touch of Class Fencing. Good fences make good neighbors. If your guests are pests, then call General Pest Control. We offer effective treatment using the latest technology against termites, rats, roaches, mosquitoes, ants, mice, pigeons, and lots more. Total eradication, guaranteed jobs, no callbacks. Get a 10% discount as an introductory offer with free estimates and inspections. Centrally located in Caroni, or call 645-4871. General Pest Control. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Look out for Metro's It's Best with Friends project. Play now on Facebook. Treat you and 4 friends to a night out this summer with dinner at Short Cafe, 1 Woodbrook Place, followed by a movie at the Digicel IMAX Theater. Simply like the Metro Magazine Facebook page. Upload a photo of you and your friends for your chance to win. It's that simple. Don't delay. Play on Facebook today. Metro Magazine. Your life, your style.
Get luxury doors and vanities at Rupnarine Home Centre, now open at corner Front Street and Wrighton Road, Woodbrook. Come in or call us today at 624-7667. Rupnarine Home Centre, your leader in home improvement. Seaview Optical announces its grand summer sale in July. Get 35% off all top designer frames. Prada, Versace, Dolce & Gabbana, Calvin Klein, Olga and Coach. Get 25% off all 2012 sunglasses. Single vision lens with frame, $299. Bifocal lens with frame, $479. 3 locations: Diamond Village, San Fernando, High Street, Princestown, opposite Charlotte Street, and 51 Montrose Main Road, Chaguanas. Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
The film industry, Timothy Christopher Timo. Well, actually, I know him as Christopher P. Nukyu. Most of you who are movie buffs like myself and you like to go to the theaters every now and then, I'm a huge movie fan. You would know his work. He's a local film critic, but he's actually actively involved in producing, presenting, writing, and every element of the industry that is local film. And he had an interesting story the other day. The 150% tax allowance for investment in local films, long touted but never realized, is now real. That was his statement following a recent event which was held by the Ministry of Arts and Multiculturalism. Businesses can now invest up to $2 million in a registered film and withhold up to $3 million in taxes in order to benefit from the tax break. Timothy, the numbers may seem a little much to people, so let's take the numbers out of it. What does this development mean for the film industry?
What it basically means is that there is a new incentive that is on the market for sponsors and for investment in film by the business community. I say new because it's been on the books for maybe 6 or 7 years now, but it's never been actualized. And the reason it hasn't been actualized is because the process was very complicated and was bureaucratic. And to be quite frank, it was arbitrary. So it wasn't that you know, if you said that you were making a film and you promised an investor that you can deliver a 150% tax allowance, you could not, simply because you did not have one of these, which is now the official tax certificates that they're giving out. The tax certificate is given to the companies that are involved? Well, the tax certificate is given for the project. So the individual, for instance, Timothy Christopher Timal, is in my own 8 of the tax certificates that have been given out thus far. Okay. Right? And what that means is that if you, as company X, wanted to invest in one of my projects, you invest, I give you a receipt, and along with that receipt, I give you a copy of this certificate, and it will be, you know, you can use it to connect it to your tax form and the Inland Revenue, and they would be able to process it very, very simply. Since the announcements of this initiative, do you think that there's been renewed interest in local film? It's relatively new. I think part of what I am doing, I guess I'm being the poster boy for it. Reason being, out of the 19 certificates that have been given out thus far, I wrote 10 of them, and as I said, I'm in possession of 8 of them. So it's much more in my interest to promote the initiative than, I guess, other people's. You know, most people look at local film, and while it's a great idea on paper, the cost associated with producing local content is exorbitant. Hence, most television stations would just buy a product wholesale, lock, stock, and barrel, and just bring it and put it on TV. Right, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because if I was a business person, I wouldn't invest in local film, at least the films that we've been making thus far, right? Simply because the films that we've been making thus far cannot make money. If we continue to make short films have never made money in anywhere in the world. We have to find a way to produce feature films that is shown in cinemas. And that is the only way that we can make money. Because by definition, we cannot have a film industry if it does not make money. And we, as filmmakers, have to rethink the way we approach film. We cannot just say, you know, I remember asking a guy years ago, a filmmaker, why does he make film? And he said for himself, and I was taken aback, but I was appalled that he would say such a thing and openly admit it, because you cannot make a film for yourself. The film must be for the audience, and the reason for that is because you have to put asses in seats to make money, right? And as a business person, the only way you can get a return on your investment is to have people look at your product. Corporate TNT getting involved, why should they get involved in this initiative? Well, you know, the thing about it is, well, the first thing is that this tax allowance certificate, the tax allowance is not the only thing that should be offered. As I said, people need to revisit the way they think about film. It's a tool. It's one of the tools that you have to employ. You also have to look at product placement. You also have to look at, you know, who's the market you're appealing to. For instance, I'm doing a movie right now, an animated feature, and we already signed on people like Marshall Montano, Chazelle, Ziggy Rankin, Errol Faber, and it's probably the most famous cast of voices ever, right? So as a business person, you're going to be connected to these people, and using aligning your products or services with them. It's an added bonus, as well as the 150%. Plus, you have to remember, I'm doing feature films. I'm not doing something for television. I'm not something for, you know, 30 minutes short or 15 minutes short will be shown in festivals. I'm doing feature films so that cinemas will be seeing them and obviously you will have a greater market.
Now, you know, there is the local festival, the local film festival, a number of regional films, some local films, but yet we've not seen that passion being ignited, that interest that's, you know, excited the population. Why do you think that is?
Well, quite frankly, and I know I'm going to get, you know, a lot of, you know, hate mail and nasty calls for this, right? I think we make crappy films in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, I said it.
You said it, I didn't.
Yeah. The reason being, I think, is that we have excellent storytellers. We have great story. What we don't have in Trinidad and Tobago is excellent storytellers. And the reason I said it is because most of our filmmakers come from a particular section of society where their lifeline is very, very static. So they don't have much width in how they've experienced life. What these kinds of initiatives would do is broaden that base of filmmakers and allow story to come from varying places.
What makes a good story? What makes a good film?
What makes a good story? An excellent question. Story has a number of components that has been observed over the history of film that works. Most people confuse that set of things, believing it's a formula. So they talk about Hollywood formula and American formula. That's not true. What it is proper form, proper structure. So you must have something that grabs your attention at the beginning of that program, and then you have multiple arcs that work for the story. So you have certain things happening at around 30 minutes, certain things happening around the middle of the film, and certain things happening at the end of the film.
Now, you are also an author. So in addition to writing for screen, you write for paper as well. I guess that's the term. The distinction?
Same basic concept, in that story works the same way. And because we are in such a modern world where people have so many different opportunities to look at different things. When you write a book or when you write anything, an article, it must be an attention grabber, because you look at the papers, you have a million things to read, but you only have a finite amount of time. So if you're not willing and able to catch that person's attention and carry them on an emotional ride, you're not going to.
And you think the local films that have not been able to do that?
I think that what we have been primarily concerned with is the look and the sound of film, which is the physical look and the physical sound. And we have not ever been interested in how a film feels.
So then what is the role of the Trinidad and Tobago Film Company and the entertainment company?
All right, the film company, I can say that I've had a tumultuous relationship with them. We're very, very...
Tumultuous, you describe it.
Very, very much so. Right, I'm sure they're smiling and they're like, oh God, I hope he doesn't say anything too terrible. No, but I have high praise for them at this point in time, in that their role has developed into much more of a facilitator. So if I wanted to do a film and I wanted to, say, block off Frederick Street, I would contact them, and they now would be the ones that will make that link between me and the city police service, and so that I will be able to have that particular aspect of my film.
Do you think that these entities have failed in terms of igniting the passion of local filmmakers, encouraging the young entrepreneurs to see film as a viable industry?
Well, I think we have had our problems in the past. I think initiatives like this, right, the 150% tax allowance, plus there's a 35% cashback that most filmmakers do not take an advantage of. So if I make a film and it costs $3 million, I can get back 35% of that cash back after the film is made. Of course, you have to go through a number of criteria and audit and that kind of stuff.
Now, we just have a few minutes to wrap this interview. What would you like the local filmmakers to know, one, about this initiative, and two, what would you like corporate TNT to know about this initiative?
Well, the first thing about local filmmakers, I would want them to know that do not see this initiative as the end-all, be-all to your worries. See it as a good tool in your arsenal that you'll be going out there to make your films. For the business community, I want you all to pay attention to the fact that I Am Santana, which was a relatively low-budget film, has done excellent.
Oh, I love that.
Right, and most people love that. It was sold out for 7 weeks in Caribbean Cinemas 8, right? You understanding that people need to understand that, what that means is that local films can make money, right? And they can put asses in the seats.
But it was very local, as in, I can look at that and know. I remember seeing the first thing on YouTube, but I thought, I know every single line. But then you have making the parallel or drawing the connection with, okay, it's appealing locally, but how do we take that international?
Right, now the thing is, story is a universal concept that appeals to us human beings on a visceral level. It's not about, you can tell a story that is local or set locally, but the elements of story that appeals to human beings appeals to all human beings. So a love story or a man on a struggle, those are not stories. This is why we can watch an American football picture, right, and have no concept of American football, but still be enamored with the characters and with the characterization, because film is a universal concept. This is another thing that a lot of filmmakers in Trinidad and Tobago seem not to want to grasp and understand.
10 seconds, your closing comments.
This is an initiative that will definitely see more films, and I look forward to being at the forefront of this.
Being at the forefront, he's a writer, film critic. He's involved in almost every element of the industry. I've read a few of his books, and actually I probably will be reading one very soon. I'm Hema Ramsey, and I'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll have more for you.
Efficiency to work by using Skyjack platform lifts on your next project. Skyjack makes your work safer and easier with working heights up to 30 feet. Skyjack puts you within reach. Call Santi-Quip at 679-6000 for more details.
Relive fond memories of the Treehouse at Driftwood Restaurant and Poolside Bar, located at Tradewinds Hotel, San Fernando. Enjoy small buffet breakfast, a la carte lunch and dinner served daily. Sunday buffet breakfast. Wednesday, 2 meats poolside barbecue with live pan. Friday night entertainment. And Saturday nights, order our lobster dinner at half price. Dine outdoors, poolside, or enjoy AC dining indoors. Your wish is our command. Come and enjoy great ambience and have a good time. For reservations, call 376-0907 or 290-1305. Healthy home-cooked meal starts with the right ingredients. We at Premium Quality Meats Limited guarantee products of the very best standard because we know that your family deserves nothing but the best. We're the exclusive providers of stewing hens and offer a wide variety of choices at affordable prices. Chicken, beef, goat, lamb, pickled meats, and frozen vegetables. We're also the agents for Olympia Gyros, Gold Label, and garden-made French fries. Different cuts, straight, crinkle, and steak. Premium Quality Meats Limited. Wholesalers and retailers. Phone 636-7582.
Introducing a new concept in shopping in Trinidad. AmazingBuysTT.com. Choose from thousands of products. Check out our specials. Free online gift registry. Shop from the comfort of your home. AmazingBuysTT.com. Call us at 652-4438.
Where we going tomorrow? We going to Tobago. It's yours, mine, and ours. We going to Tobago. It's
25th anniversary of the Tobago Heritage Festival, and everybody's invited. The celebration's bigger than ever this year, with more villages, more shows, plus cultural favorites like the goat and crab races, an all-time Tobago wedding, oh gosh, and the food. July 13th to August 1st. Mark it down, July 13th to August 1st. 25th Annual Tobago Heritage Festival. Yours, mine, and ours to preserve and protect. Why-yo-yo!
Come and see what police can do. Come and hear what police can do. Come and learn what police can do. We want to partner with you. Come and see what police can do. Come and hear what police can do.
Come on down to the police caravan this Friday, July 20th, Harris Promenade, San Fernando, from 12 noon to 5 p.m. It's exciting and informative. Bring the entire family. See you there.
Police can do. We want to partner with you.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, the world's most expensive rum. Now today, after almost 30 years of existence in this life, I've now realized what I would like to be, a master distiller. Because this morning on set, joining us from Angostura, Giselle Laurent West and John Georges. John has, we had a little off-air conversation, John has one of the most interesting jobs in the world. And thank you, I think faith has brought you to this set, that I understand what my next venture in life should be. John's title is actually Master Distiller. So before we talk a little bit about Angostura's latest initiative, the world's most expensive rum, Angostura to auction world's most expensive rum, first you have to clarify to all who've not really heard the exciting parts of your job. What is a Master Distiller?
Well, I have been working with Angostura for the better part of 30 years. So that I suppose that the distinction of Master Distiller is just something I got as a result of all those years of experience. No. And what I've been doing most recently really is traveling the world, different parts, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, supporting the marketing of our rums. We have really wonderful rums, and I get to go out there and tell people about it, and every once in a while have a sip.
Now, Giselle, Angostura, there's a lovely write-up today in one of the daily newspapers. Angostura has announced that in celebration of the 50th anniversary of independence of Trinidad and Tobago, it has created the world's most expensive blend of rum.
That's right.
Legacy by Angostura. Let's talk a little bit about that initiative.
Correct. Well, I think John really is the person who should really be talking about that, knowing, seeing that he's the master distiller.
The master
so he could tell us a little bit more about the rum. What I would like to really tell you about is the occasion on which we're going to unveil this rum and let people have the opportunity to actually bid for it, because there are only 20 in the world. And when that's finished, that's finished. So on the 4th of August, we actually have a dinner and dance planned and a big auction where people are getting the opportunity, who attend the dinner and dance, of course, to come and actually bid and take part of in the auction to see if they can get that prized possession. So let John tell you a little bit.
Why is this rum that only 20 bottles exist in the world? Now, obviously, by demand and supply rules, any basic economic student will tell you it's already fetching a very high price.
Right.
Why is this rum so special?
Well, first of all, I mean, look at the picture you have there. It is the most exquisite bottle. So it starts by looking good. And the spirit is an amazing, amazing product. It took at least 25 years to make, because there's very old rum in that, or not just any old rum, the best of the best. We only make great rum, and we put even the best of those rums in that blend.
I think the youngest is 17
The youngest is 17 years old.
So, I'm not too much of a rum drinker. Okay, putting that disclaimer out there now. So I have to train for your job a little bit. But looking at the bottle, now the bottle is beautiful. We're showing clips with what the bottle looks like.
It's created by Asprey of London, jewelers to the Prince of Wales himself.
Yes?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, I'm just like, there are very few interviews that really take my breath away, but I think this one happens to do that. If you're looking at this rum, now the youngest is 17 years old of all the rums that have been blended, aged in the 200-litre American oak
barrels. Yes.
When you hear something like that, what does that say to a master distiller when we look at the, I guess, the quality and the caliber of the rum that's being put out?
Well, that's it. You know, the industry, certainly the rum industry, uses those barrels for aging rum, but then in order to get real perfection, you have to have the perfect rum going into the barrel, you have to have the ideal barrel, and then that little bit of magic that happens over 17 or 18 or 19, 20-something years. It transforms the spirit, infuses the spirit with aromas and flavors that are really intoxicating. And as you know, a flavor is really mostly aroma. So the aroma takes you away, the flavor, something else.
And credit has to be given to the blenders. I mean, several blenders were involved in this process, and even our CEO. He was also involved in the process, Robert Wong. So we have to give credit to the blenders, the distillers, the coopers in particular, who produce those wonderful barrels over the years. And so all of it, in essence, it's pure quality that we're dealing with here.
Will all 20 be auctioned in Trinidad?
No. One in Trinidad only. So they are going to be auctioned in other parts of the world. The very first one actually was auctioned in Australia. And I don't think, did anybody make the bid?
No, we got up to 23,000 Australian dollars, which is like 23,000 US dollars, but we held off.
Oh, you chose that. Okay, that's not worthy of all round.
It didn't meet the price. No, we don't. We just think with a little more time, I'm sure it will be sold.
Yes, well, I'm sure it'll be sold in Trinidad. I have no doubt.
I know. We seem to have a good affinity to the good rum.
But I want everybody to know, though, that if they're interested in coming to the auction, it takes place on August the 4th, of course. And the auction actually starts at 9. The event starts at 7. And this is the only opportunity they have, both to actually see the product live and to have an opportunity, of course, to have this prized possession on the 50th anniversary of our independence.
Now,
so it's a great opportunity.
The event is a gala dinner and a dance.
Correct.
Where would you get more information about that?
Well, they can call me directly at Angostura. My extension is 246, and I'll give them all the details. The cost per ticket is $1,000 per person, and just call me and we will book it. I'm ready to sell. I have tickets.
Now, according to this article, we set out to create the greatest sipping rum ever produced, and we believe we've achieved something that is both unique and unparalleled.
It can't be compared to any other spirit. It is a unique experience on its own, and it's an experience. And Giselle is right. It is the work of many different people, and in fact, I represent, being directly from the sort of production side of the organization, all the people, both in the distillery, in the laboratories, in our cooperage. I represent all of these people. That's who I represent here today.
Now, you know, I really am, but I'm thinking, you know, John makes his job sound so exciting. I should really start training now. But we're looking at the auction. It is part of the Independence Day celebrations. So Angostura is now taking a leading part. Why did the company that has roots so deep in our local culture, why did you decide to also join and be part of it?
Well, I mean, the company is almost 200 years old, so we're an industry here. We're an icon, part of Trinidad and Tobago's fabric. So we felt that having won Blender of the Year last year and so many awards and being known as the most awarded rum range, we felt that, you know, the 50th anniversary is an opportune time for us to make a mark and actually show Trinidad and Tobago that we can produce wonderful quality premium rum, and of course tie ourselves with people who can actually produce fine decanters as Asprey. So we combined with them and we decided, okay, this is the year that we're going to do this.
How does this rum compare to every other rum that is on the market?
Uncomparable.
It cannot be compared. It's a complete... And over the few years that I've been doing this job, I've drunk a lot of different rums.
I haven't.
There's nothing like
How could we be in line to get John's job if we're not training?
I know, I think I have to sip a few more rums to really understand.
And this rum in particular requires a little experience. So when you buy your bottle, call me, and I'll do what I do, which is lead you through an appreciation of a rum such as this.
How do you do that? Explain it to me. I find it the most interesting thing. Lead people to an appreciation of rum.
Well, first of all, when you look at that, it's a full sensory experience. You have to enjoy the look of the spirit, the wonderful colors, the different tones. Then you have to slowly allow the spirit to come to you so you can enjoy the aromas. Then you kind of go to it to get into the deeper aromas of the rum, because a rum has like several dimensions of flavor and aroma. Then you sip it slowly, front, side, back of the tongue, and on each occasion you're getting different elements of the flavor profile. And then you enjoy it, and even the feel of the spirit is an extraordinary kind of thing.
This is really, the next time you take a sip of rum, remember all of those things are supposed to happen.
You have to remember that.
You see why he does what he does.
I know, right? I'm like,
because when he goes to places like Estonia and Australia and Russia and all these places and he's just come back from, you know, he just has these people mesmerized.
Really,
what he's saying, you know.
I'm thinking next time I really take a sip of rum, I'm going to remember all of these things are supposed to happen. We just have a couple of minutes to wrap this interview. Your closing comments, Trinidad and Tobago. Angostura to auction the world's most expensive rum. This is all tying in to our Independence Day celebration, Legacy by Angostura.
Yes, I would just like to wish Trinidad and Tobago on behalf of Angostura, an icon here in Trinidad and Tobago, all the best for the 50th anniversary. And we're very proud to be able to have Legacy to be part of all of that.
The master distiller gets the final word this morning.
The final word? I'm very familiar with the history of Angostura. It has to be part of my job. And that legacy is very real. Over 150 years of rum-making experience, lots of talented artists, scientists, and so many different people. I've worked with extraordinary distillers, fermenters, people in the casking house, people in the laboratories and so on. Extraordinary people. They came up with that.
I would like the last part.
Sure.
I just want people also to know
I have a thing against blenders, by the way.
that Legacy came about because of our two legacies, Angostura's Seagut and Fernandez. So both Seagut and Fernandez created all of these rums and bitters, and they created the legacy, basically. And so that's why we chose to do that in their honor.
Angostura is doing this in honor of their founders, and also the fact that they are so intricately linked to the history and the development of our country. The world's most expensive rum. Now, if you see the bottle, you'll understand why it's gained that title. And if you hear John describe it, know that the next time you take a sip of rum, it should be an experience, not just a sip of rum, not just on ice. I'm Hamer Ramkissoon. We'll now take a very short break. I'll see you after this.
It's important to know who you are and what you're for. So it's good to come back home, come back to base, to my roots. If we are a dot, let's be the most creative, passionate, energetic dot they've ever seen. I for that. It's just that amazing simplicity that I love about Trinidad that continues to inspire me. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting I4TANDT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
The Comedy Picnic Festival is back at the San Fernando Hill on Sunday, 29th July from 3 p.m. San Fernando, Port of Spain, Pinal, Point Fortin. It's the biggest comedy picnic festival. The Tommy Joseph and Sprangaline Comedy Squad.
You just always don't care what them women do. You just know when they have false here. When you hear really, just scratch it so. False here.
Damien Melville and Louis Antoine Comedy Force, the Ladies Comedy Club, Peter Joseph and Clifford Lemon Team, the Caribbean Macomita Comedy Group, Caribbean's greatest impersonator, Gary Jagru. Now is the time to book your maxis, pack your picnic baskets, coolers, beach chairs, or whatever have you. It all starts with a kids show at 3 p.m. with Snow White and the Dwarf, along with face painting. And for this special family event, children under 12, 3 on 1 ticket, adults 2 on 1 ticket, and single tickets are available. The Comedy Picnic Festival, Sunday, 29th July, San Fernando Hill, from 3 p.m.
KC Candy launches its 12G. Enjoy 12 pieces of refreshment anytime and anywhere. So convenient, so affordable, so cool. Experience the Blast 12G of Mint Explosion, Ice Blast, and Dino Blast. It's fast, powerful, and refreshing. Only $4.99. Available everywhere. Call 636-2360 extension 246 for the Mint Experience. KC Candy. We make every moment sweeter.
Hiya guys, I am Felix, and welcome to Party Central. We have lots of great items for birthdays, baby showers, weddings, party themes, gift items, bachelorette, and so much more. Party Central. Let us be a part of your party. Visit us at www.partycentraltt.com.
Superb Caterers. The name says it all. We are TNT's #1 choice for catering of all events, serving TNT for almost 20 years. We cater events from 10 to 4,000 persons and guarantee prompt, reliable, friendly and efficient service, whatever the time, place or event. Call 653-1896. That's 653-1896. Superb Caterers. We are superb.
After 70 years, 7 Seas cod liver oil is still the most trusted source of omega-3 in the world.
Take a teaspoon, take the capsule, build up your body.
7 Seas, the gold standard in omega-3.
Teachers, do you want to see improved achievement levels in your students' examination results? Try Credit. I did. Wonderful results. The only BA program with honors in the Caribbean. Gate approved.
I believed in myself. I knew I was going to make my country proud. Was I scared? No. It was my proudest moment. I felt I was on top of the world. What makes me proud about Trinidad and Tobago? The belief in ourselves and the ability to win, despite the odds. What are you proud about? Tell us on Twitter by tweeting #I4TNT.
Where there's love for country, there's energy. Where there's energy, there's BPTT.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkissoon. Thank you so much for staying with us, and thank you for inviting us into your homes each and every day. Our very own Roger Sand is out in London today, and he's following all of the local teams as they attempt to make their mark on the international stage in the 2012 Olympic Games. Roger sent a report this morning, because you know he's working very hard. So bright and early at 6 a.m. we got this sent straight from London. Let's take that in.
BPTT's Going for Gold is brought to you in part by Ginseng Up, Sissons Paint, BMW, Mini, the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, Penta, and BPTT.
Good morning, Hema, and good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. We greet you from a very wet, cold, and windy Cardiff, Wales. As the CNC3 crew, we are here following the Trinidad and Tobago athletes who are in camp here in Cardiff at the Vale Resort and Hotel. They are getting set and ready, of course, to compete at the upcoming London Olympics. And we are following what they're doing in the few days leading up to their competition in London. Well, as we said, it's cold in the region of about 15 degrees Celsius, but it's also wet and rainy. Even the Trinidad and Tobago flag flying on the flagpole outside the hotel appeared to be shivering in the early morning cold temperatures. Well, we arrived in Cardiff yesterday to spend some time with Team TNT, and several of the Trinidad and Tobago athletes yesterday had a bit of a media day over at the Cardiff University Stadium. They were met and interviewed by members of the Welsh media, and they also signed autographs and had some pictures taken with several school children and local volunteers. Yesterday as well, we met with Andrew Lewis, the Trinidad and Tobago sailor, and he, interestingly, went back to an area called Trail Lewis. Now, he told us he has some ancestral roots in Wales because his forefathers left Wales in the 1800s to come to the Caribbean, first to Barbados and eventually to Trinidad and Tobago. So he had an interesting visit back to that area called Trail Lewis, and he was interviewed by the BBC. He spoke to several of the school children in that area. Now, today, Andrew leaves Cardiff as he heads to his competition venue of Weymouth. There, he will check into the athletes' village and start to get his boat ready, a brand new boat that he has to get ready for the start of competition in the Olympics on July 30th. Today as well, several Trinidad and Tobago athletes will be competing later this evening at about 7 o'clock Cardiff time in an athletic meet here at the Cardiff University. So they will be getting in some final preparations before the start of the Olympics. So why are they here? Why are they all the way in Cardiff and the Olympics taking place just about 3 hours east of here in London? Well, several years ago, the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee entered into a bit of an agreement with the authorities here in Wales to stage this pre-Olympic camp. And what this does is it brings them together to bond as a team. Remember, many of these athletes are all over the world, either at school or competing during various times of the year, and they hardly get a chance to come together and bond as a team. They will be representing proudly Trinidad and Tobago at the Olympics, a lifetime achievement for many of them, and this gives them the opportunity to get to know each other, a bit of an induction into the values of the Olympics and the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee and what's expected of them. They also get a chance to fit for their uniforms and what they are going to be wearing, especially on the night of the opening ceremony. And here at the Vale Hotel, they also have expansive training facilities, a pool, a track they can train on, a full gym, and they have lots of facilities laid out for them so they can be in prime physical and mental condition before they start the Olympic Games. This camp winds down on July 25th next week before they all move to London and check in at the Athletes Village at the London Olympics. So that's where we are right now in Cardiff with the athletes, checking in on their progress, and we will be filing morning reports every day and, of course, nightly reports on the CNC3 News at 7. So, Hema, once again, from Cardiff, where it's still very grey, very wet, and very cold, we say good morning once again to you and to all our viewers, and keep viewing CNC3 as we follow Trinidad and Tobago's athletes going for gold at the London Olympics. I'm Roger Sant on behalf of my colleague Hank Williams, reporting to you from Cardiff, Wales.
BPTT's Going for Gold is brought to you in part by Ginseng Up, Sissons Paint, BMW, Mini, the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, Penta, and BPTT.
It's gonna be a great day. Got my ginseng up, hey. Let's focus, people. Come on and get it sorted. Get more out of your day. Get things done efficiently. Let's go with it. Come on and just drink it, people. Drink it up now. Drink it up now. Ginseng up now. Ginseng up now. Oh. Enjoy the new look and same great taste today. Ginseng Up, the roots of all power.
The TMS Party House is the place for your kids this holidays with water slides, bouncy castles, bumper boat racing, a petting zoo. Test your skills on the Jacob's Ladder or bounce and stick to our huge Velcro wall like Spider-Man. Watch movies, play games, karaoke, and more. Come, party in our safe and secured environment. For more information, please call Tropical Memorable Slides at 783-5294 to book your place at the Tropical Memorable Slides and Entertainment Center Party House.
My brother Freddie, he's an actor and a model. And my brother Adam, he works with architects, importing stone and marble from Italy. I like to work hard, play rough. Freddie, on the other hand, he likes to play it smooth. Freddie orders some mini skinny latte. No milk, no sugar, no this, no that. My brother just drinks espresso.
Freddie loves all the attention he can get. For me, being on my own, it's wonderful too.
To be honest, You'll never find me and Fred driving the same car.
Steak? Again? Sushi?
Relive fond memories of the Treehouse at Driftwood Restaurant and Poolside Bar located at Tradewinds Hotel, San Fernando. Enjoy small buffet breakfast, a la carte lunch and dinner served daily. Sunday buffet breakfast. Wednesday, 2 meats poolside barbecue with live pan. Friday night entertainment. And Saturday nights, order our lobster dinner at half price. Dine outdoors, poolside, or enjoy AC dining indoors. Your wish is our command. Come and enjoy great ambience and have a good time. For reservations, call 376-0907 or 290-1305. Sets from Rupnarine Home Centre, now open at Corner French Street and Wrighton Road, Woodbrook. Come in or call us today at 624-7667. Rupnarine Home Centre, your leader in home improvement.
Look out for Metro's It's Best with Friends project. Play now on Facebook. Treat you and 4 friends to a night out this summer with dinner at Short Cafe, 1 Woodbrook Place, followed by a movie at the Digital IMAX Theatre. Simply like the Metro Magazine Facebook page. Upload a photo of you and your friends for your chance to win. It's that simple. Don't delay. Play on Facebook today. Metro Magazine. Your life, your style.
If your guests are pests, then call General Pest Control. We offer effective treatment using the latest technology against termites, rats, roaches, mosquitoes, ants, mice, pigeons, and lots more. Total eradication, guaranteed jobs, no callbacks. Get a 10% discount as an introductory offer with free estimates and inspections. Centrally located in Caroni or call 645-4871. General Pest Control. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Attention all leading supermarkets, government offices, and small businesses. We at Best Choice supply a wide range of very affordable wholesale food items, including all tried foods, frozen meats, and haberdasheries. Government purchase orders are welcomed. We even offer free delivery with short notice. Make the best choice and save today. Best Choice, 668-0128 or 691-1872.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Hema Ramkisum. Thanks so much for staying with us, and thank you for inviting me into your homes today. Our phone lines are now open. We have a few minutes to share with you. You know, normally we don't really get a chance to interact with our viewers and with all of those who follow the show routinely, who make it possible. Without you, every single morning, we couldn't do it. I understand we have Marival on the line. Marival, good morning.
Hello, Hema.
Hi, good morning.
I'm so lucky to get in. You look beautiful as usual.
Thank you.
It never fails to amaze me how you look so fresh in the morning. You know, some of us, when we wake up, we need to iron out all the crinkled up face. But you have done it superbly.
Thank you. I have a really good makeup artist.
Personally, I think the new traffic plan will work, but it will take time.
Right.
And it will take tweaking. It will take some work to be done, especially by the Roxy roundabout. That has to be eradicated, I think. Mm-hmm. They need to put up traffic lights because it is going to be more like a freeway on Arpita and Tradwick Road. Mm-hmm. So as I said, I think it will work, but it will take time. So if people will just have a little patience, I think we will see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Hema.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your day, Marival. 624-721-627-8658. The new traffic plan is happening right now. This is the third day. The Ministry of Works and Infrastructure is the ministry that has been charged with the responsibility of working with the Mayor of Port of Spain in organizing this latest event. I think we have another call on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah, Hema. Hi, morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay this morning, trying to deal with a few things, but I'll be okay.
Yes, but I just wanted to make a comment on what the lady said.
Sure.
You don't need an iron for your face. You're still young and beautiful. You have it all.
Thank you.
No trace of wrinkles at all. You have a long way before you go to that. Yeah, I think that the traffic plan is good too. You know, I think it will work. And like everything else, you just have to give it time.
Thanks so much.
Okay? Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's take a quick call from Arima. Arima, good morning.
Morning, Ima. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Good morning.
Ima, yesterday I saw the committee that dealing with the green paper, the draft green paper, and
on Tobago.
On Tobago. I saw them on morning edition yesterday. Given what could only be described as a concocted view of what they taking place. Maybe in Tobago they getting people know what's going on, but in Trinidad they're doing it behind the back of Trinidadians.
Right.
And that's an issue that I think CNC3 should bring to the forefront.
Sure, we will follow it up, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for calling. 624-871-627-8658. Our phone lines are open. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Hi, Hema.
Hi.
Most considered best journalist in Trinidad and Tobago. I always say that.
Thank you.
One of the things I'd like to comment on the traffic situation, it's an excellent idea. One of my concerns, and I'm not a business owner in Port of Spain, on the avenue, I'm just concerned about the downturn in the economy right now. And the businesses in that area is suffering considerably. You look at the avenue and there's not any business going on since this happened, and maybe it may come back. But when we are making changes, we need to do it holistically. We need to involve businesses because businesses is what stimulate growth in the economy. My concern is that how many businesses may have to close down. We have new businesses just opening there. We cannot make changes without putting proper other plans for parking and to accommodate these people. I sympathize with the businesses, and I just don't want to see our economy get any worse.
Right.
So whomever is listening, think about that. I'm happy that I could have drove to the avenue yesterday and reached up on Rising Road in 5 minutes.
You're right.
Think about everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks so much, and thank you for calling, and thank you for watching the show. 624-871. I think we have another caller. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I'm calling from San Fernando area.
Good morning,
and,
San.
I'm just going to make a comment. You know, we are studying a lot of the roads, and which is good. I had an incident that I have to be at this San Fernando hospital. And it was ridiculous. There's a smell of urine. They have rats all over the place. In the night, I left there about after 12. And we are putting lots of money in the road. What about the health institution?
Okay.
Something is wrong there. I mean, we need to put priority first. It doesn't make sense to have a lot of roads. I mean, have a lot of dying people. If you go to the hospital in San Fernando, instead of you get better, you get sick. One patient actually got a rash on the bed. And he has to be using cream now because the place is very unsanitary.
Thanks so much, and thank you for highlighting that. We'll raise the issue with our newsroom and try to follow up on the story. 624-871-627-8658. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello. San Fernando again. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, what I do understand with the people...
Hello?
The people is, you know, the plan is only there for one day. Yet they're complaining about their business going down. How could you know that your business is going down in one day? If after a week you see your business going down, well, then you can talk. But why only after one day you're making all this confusing thing?
Thanks so much, caller. Let's take another quick call. Hello, good morning. 624-871-627-8658. Hello, Arima. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to the population.
Good morning.
What I wanted to bring to the attention of the public is a recent item which was reported in the papers where the Ministry of the People under Ramadan Singh they spent $72 million to refurbish approximately 50 houses belonging to poor residents, which are comprising of 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom shacks and small houses. Has anybody realized that this is about $1.4 million per house that they spent to renovate a low-income shack? The point I'm making is that we spend money here in this country, taxpayers' money, and the government is always talking about trying to get more money, when nobody's taking the time to look at the value for money.
Thanks so much, caller. We got the gist of the contribution. I say special good morning to a very good friend of mine, Shane Mohammed. Good morning, Shane, and thank you for the support. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Salmon area. I work in the and actually St. James area, and it's a late night work, and we have to, now we could have gotten transport on Charger to late night, but now we have to walk either late night straight down to the avenue, where we don't get transport at all either, or straight down to Ryson Road, and still we don't know where the taxis taking routes now. Some of them they go straight around the Savannah and go down to Charlotte Street. We have to walk straight down to Port of Spain from Cipriani Boulevard. It's ridiculous now. They cater for people with cars, and they didn't cater for anybody else traveling.
Traveling public, okay.
Ridiculous.
Thanks so much for highlighting that, and I think we will raise that issue at our newsroom because a number of persons have called expressing similar sentiments. The new traffic plan that has been put in place. I'm Hema Ramkisoon, and on behalf of everyone attached to the Early Morning Show, thank you again for inviting us into your homes. Thank you for making us part of your day today. Do have a safe and blessed day. Be safe on the roads. Remember, give out plenty love. You get what you give. It's kind of the way things work in the universe. I'm Hema Ramkisoon, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.